I want to turn now to what the president has been saying about the Mueller report, about his nemesis from beyond the grave, John McCain, and about his other nemesis, Kellyanne Conway's husband, George Conway. So let's start with the Mueller report. The president now says he wants people to see it.
I don't mind. I mean, frankly, I told the House, if you want, let them see it. Let it come out. Let people see it.
So you heard the president. He says he wants the report to come out. Great. Perfect, because that's what 87% of Americans want. The House voted 420-0 to demand the public release of Mueller's report. Of course, Lindsey Graham blocked a Senate vote. And if you think he did that on his own, without the president's say-so, just remember, Lindsey Graham can't even take a strong stand against the president's constant attacks on his friend John McCain. Be that as it may, the Attorney General should absolutely take the president at his word. He should let the American people see the Mueller report. He should, but we all know this is a trick the president has played before. Remember when he said he wanted to sit down with Mueller and answer questions under oath? Remember how that worked out?
Would you be willing to speak under oath to give your version of those events?
100%.
Are you going to talk to Mueller?
I'm looking forward to it, actually.
To reach a higher standard, you would do it under oath.
Oh, I would do it under oath.
Mr. President, would you still like to testify to Special Counsel Robert Mueller, sir?
Thank you.
Sure. I would like to. You would like to?
I would like to. I would love to speak because we've done nothing wrong. I would love to speak. I would love to go. Nothing I want to do more. I would love to speak. I would love to. Nobody wants to speak more than me. In fact, against my lawyers, because most lawyers, they never speak on anything.
Are you more likely to sit for an interview now?
My lawyers are working on that. I've always wanted to do an interview because, look, there's been no collusion.
Is that your final position, that there's going to be no sit-down interview and nothing, written or in person, on obstruction?
I would say probably. Probably. I mean, I can change my mind, but probably.
He sure can change his mind. We'll see if he keeps his word on the Mueller report. Now let's talk about what the president said today about John McCain. You probably thought it couldn't get much worse. Unfortunately, you're wrong.
A lot of people are asking because they love me and they ask me about a man named John McCain. So I have to be honest, I've never liked him much. Hasn't been for me. I've really probably never will. But there are certain reasons for it, and I'll tell you. And I do this to save a little time with the press later on. John McCain received a fake and phony dossier. Do you hear about the dossier? It was paid for by crooked Hillary Clinton, right? And John McCain got it. He got it. And what did he do? Didn't call me. He turned it over to the FBI, hoping to put me in jeopardy. And that's not the nicest thing to do. You know, when those people say, because I'm a very loyal person. John McCain campaigned for years to repeal and replace Obamacare. When he finally had the chance to do it, he voted against repeal and replace. He voted against at 2 o'clock in the morning. Remember, thumbs down. We said, what the hell happened? He said 2 hours before he was voting to repeal and replace, and he went thumbs down.
So this president apparently thinks an event at a plant that produces tanks for the military, with many members of the military listening, he thinks is an appropriate place to slam a deceased war hero. Wrap your head around that. And that wasn't even the worst of it. And even the low blows that we've heard from this president over the past few days, he managed to sink even further. The president actually complained, he did, that he didn't get a thank you for McCain's funeral.
I gave him the kind of funeral that he wanted, which as president I had to approve. I don't care about this. I didn't get thank you. That's okay. We sent him on the way, but I wasn't a fan of John McCain.
Okay, so I want you to remember, President Trump refused for 2 days after McCain's death to put out a formal statement praising his service. And he ordered the White House flag to fly at half-staff until McCain's funeral, only under pressure. Can you even imagine any other president complaining because he didn't get a thank you for the funeral of his perceived enemy, a funeral for an American war hero? Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, but there's more. There's much more. President Trump taking his feud with George Conway to DEFCON 1. With Conway, who, of course, is the husband of senior White House advisor Kellyanne Conway, giving as good as he gets. Tonight, retweeting Maggie Haberman, referencing a belief among some of the president's advisors that one reason he is running for re-election is that he could have criminal exposure in the Southern District of New York cases if he isn't in office. Conway tweeting, quote, "That isn't a particularly compelling reason for voters to re-elect individual one." And going on to tweet a pretty sarcastic mock campaign slogan, quote, "Vote for me and keep me free. Individual one, 2020. I can't believe it. Wow. That happened. Just wow. It comes after the president said this about Conway.
He's a whack job, there's no question about it, but I really don't know him. I think he's doing a tremendous disservice to a wonderful wife. Kellyanne is a wonderful woman, and I call him Mr. Kellyanne.
That's not all. There's also this tweet. The President of the United States calling Conway, quote, "a stone-cold loser and husband from hell." George Conway pinned that to the top of his Twitter feed, which pretty much guarantees the feud is not as far from over. But he called him a husband from hell, someone married 3 times, cheated on his wives, a porn star, paid her off while his wife was at home with a baby, and paid off a Playboy playmate. But he calls somebody else a husband from hell? Bruh. And as I've said before, we all know why the president is piling on the insults and doubling down on his feuds. Why he's waving the same shiny objects right in front of you. It's all about distracting and deflecting from what could be in the Mueller report. The question is, will all his distracting and deflecting work?